Boy, industry has changed so much since I've been in the game. First of all, loyalty, of the consumer is way different than it used to be. When a Jackson 5 record came out, or a Temptations record came out, or a Cameo record came out back in the day, it didn't matter what this first single sounded like. Individuals that were Cameo fans or Jackson fans were going to purchase the record. Nowadays, individuals are looking for, the next best thing, so fast. It's ridiculous. And of course, the record buying process isn't the same as what it was, of course, with iPods and the advent of the internet. You're getting product for free, a lot of the time. So it's definitely changed things.
Basically, the music business, the old model of the music business is going downhill rapidly. Record sales are terrible. I mean, you got an artist like Monica, her record's been out 2 months or a month and a half. She sold 150,000 units. This is an artist that's a gold or platinum artist every time out. You got an artist like Janet Jackson who's at like 500,000 sales after a month. I mean, it's definitely changing rapidly, and there are more opportunities than ever to make money. The publishing company is fine due to ringtones and downloads and what you can do with mobile and digital content. There are a lot of ways to make money in the music business, but if you're dependent on record sales to make money, it's going to be a tough road to hoe.
Black music sale is down 25%. Okay, number one on the charts a couple of weeks ago, only sell 172,000 units the first week. So I mean, there's no more black music department at any label, and our community haven't figured out what the next wave of distribution is. Or if they did figure out, they haven't figured out how to get into it.
It's harder because people don't want to embrace the new media, and they want to go with the old way of trying to sell music, and it's harder and harder. I mean, retailers aren't surviving under the current conditions. Nobody's making records that apparently people want to buy. I mean, there are only a handful of records. I think there were over 60,000 records that were registered with SoundScan last year, and the majority never sold 1,000 units.
This right here is a SoundScan report from 2005. You guys have any idea how many albums were released in 2005? A lot. 60,000 albums, 60,331 to be exact. Of those 60,000 albums, how many were platinum and multi-platinum? 32. How many were gold?
About 500.
62. Of those 60,000 albums that were released, 11,000 of them were released on major labels. 49,000 of them were all indie label releases. Of the 60,000 albums that were released, including those 32 and 62 gold and platinum and multi-platinum records, a total of 410 sold over 100,000 copies. The major labels, of the 11,000 albums that they released, 9,061 sold less than 5,000 copies.
There, are a smaller amount of individuals that are able to make money in the industry on a major level, although, there are a lot of, and then there are a lot of individuals that are able to make money on a smaller level, which is good.
With the different companies merging, because I look at it from a whole corporate standpoint too. Now the companies are merging. Now you have, Sony BMG, and then you have EMI and Warner that's supposed to be merging, and you have all these companies merging. It's making it, the mediums to get out there are becoming less and less, the conventional mediums. Now that's making the internet be even larger. So I think hip hop is moving into the internet, you know what I'm saying? The internet stage where, people are marketing and promoting and putting their records out through the internet, and it's going to make the independent game be out of control.
Independence is the way to go, if you're starting, you're an upstart company, because a lot of times major record labels now over the last couple of years have been looking for a track record. If you're able to sell 20, 30, 40,000 records in your region, whether that's in the South or the Midwest or up on the Northeast side where I'm from, then you're making some noise, and they feel like you have some skin in the game. So they'll pick up a lot of the things as far as that's concerned. So independence is the way to go. And when you look at making $5 or, you know, potentially $7 to $10 per record, you know, and signing to a major record label and potentially getting what now is probably only anywhere from 20 to maybe 60, 70,000 of an advance, and then really making no more money over and above that, you know, throughout the life of your record. You know, it makes more sense to me to go on ahead and get that $6, $7, $8, $9 a record and just go on ahead and drag it out and be in business for yourself.
I think, you know, I think being independent today isn't like it used to be, you know, 5 years ago, you know, even 3 short years ago, where being independent meant you were broke, literally. You know, nowadays independent labels are making the majors nervous, and that's just because, you know, the fact that, you know, we've been able to bridge the gap between marketing and distribution. Yeah, a major does get you out there, you know, by having a major behind you. You definitely have the national exposure and the worldwide exposure, but you don't own 90% of what you put out, you know. I know lots of major artists that are broke right now. You know, I know a lot of artists that you see on MTV today that don't have 50 cents in their pocket to buy a Coke.
When I started in the music business, distribution was the key. If you had distribution and you could get your record into the stores, you could say sell 10 or 20,000 units even if your record wasn't very good. Now marketing is the key. You don't even need distribution. You can get your record online, you can sell out of the trunk, you can own your content and not have to have anybody take a chunk out if you can get it in the right places and have the money to spend so people know who you are and know where they can find your product. And I think that's where people miss. People's priorities are still out of whack. People are trying to work within the old confines of the old system, and it's changed too much for it to work correctly that way.